Hi, this is Richard with the Wickenburg Roundup, and I have Matt Sharp here. He is a photographer, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about his background, but he did some of his first work here in Wickenburg. I met him actually at, I believe it was 2022 at Gold Rush Days. So, Matt, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great.
Yeah, it was
glad to be here.
Yeah, it was fun. We got to work together yesterday, and we'll work together again today.
Heck yeah, they got the Wickenburg Wild Bull Riding going on tonight.
Yep, that's very good. Gina Kraut puts that on and does a really good job. It's her fourth year doing it, and the crowd last night was good. We did a Calcutta, and what'd you think of the Calcutta?
Tell you what, I thought the Calcutta was great. You know, for the amount of people there and everything and the money they raised, it was pretty darn good.
It definitely fun.
And it was the crowd. It was pretty. There was a lot of energy. It was just a really good time. The live music was fun. Everything about that. It was great.
Very cool. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time there myself. Okay, Matt, what people will want to probably know is what inspired you to get into Western photography?
Well, I started getting on bulls back in 2022. It's a funny story. I never really had much to do with rodeo at all. This is not a childhood thing. I went on a date with a girl in 2022 to a rodeo. And I ended up getting, to make a long story short, I ended up getting run over at my first rodeo by a bull. And from there on out, after I got ran over, I says, you know what? I got to try to get on one bull at least, and just say I'd done it. And then that one bull turned into about 200 of them within about a year and a half.
Okay, when you say you got run over, you were in the arena taking pictures?
No, I was playing a game. They do this.
Oh,
this was back home, and this is basically the game was called bull hockey.
Okay,
and they would take two barrels from from the barrel racing. They'd take two barrels from the barrel racing, put them in front of the chute gate, and then they would take another two and put them on the other side of the chute gate, and they would let a bull out.
Okay.
And the object of the game was to get that bull to chase you between your barrels to score points for your team.
And these were Mexican fighting bulls?
No, this was a normal bucking bull with a flank.
Okay.
One that was probably, pretty hot. One that didn't like people very much.
Right.
Immediately I got ran over, basically.
Oh, that is not fun. I can relate. I'll be in there this evening, and I've had it happen, and I hope it doesn't happen tonight.
Yeah, me too. That is the goal, is to stay out of the way of the bull.
I know I've seen you work, and I know we talked last night, and you said you're kind of changing your style. Tell me kind of what your style is now, or what you're kind of evolving to.
Well, it seems like normally, I used to I would take videos, from a single position. Not that I didn't move around, but now I use these gimbals and things like that, and now I can get more of like almost a 3D look to some of my videos, to some of the content that I put out there, and different slow motions. But, the main thing is these angles. I've tried to go different ways with different angles, trying to make it, how do you make it more unique than what it was already that I was getting, And I just started trying really off the wall stuff, and, the things that look good, I kept that in my back pocket, and I would do that again and again,
Yeah, I know as a photographer and videographer, there's certain things I look for, and what I enjoy is I like getting close.
Absolutely.
It's part of the thrill and the rush. But when I watched you, the angle I saw you do, and right when I first met you, you were laying down on the ground in the arenas. Tell me about that, and what got you into doing that.
Well, I kept getting bucked off as I was riding, right? And finally I got a dislocated shoulder, and that kind of set me back for a little bit, and then I got a second one, and then a third, and fourth, fifth. It come out like 6-7 times before I'm like, this just is not clicking with me. And the worst part was, it wasn't anything preventable because I landed wrong on my free arm. So it was my free arm that keeps coming out, and there's no way to brace that. It's tough to keep that braced and working.
Right.
If it was my right arm, it might be a different story where I could really tape it up real good. But it's just that's not going to work. So I started bringing my cameras. I would get bucked off, and some days I'd my shoulder would come out. Other days I'd get bucked off, go grab my camera, and keep rolling.
Nice. Now, where did you grow up in the country?
I grew up in a rural town. Most people will know it now. It's pretty well known now. I grew up in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Okay. What is it famous for?
Well, it is famous for the assassination attempt of President Donald Trump.
I do know, but that's terrible.
Yeah.
To be known for something
Infamous.
like that. Yeah. I guess. How did you and Gina get acquainted? Where you're working for Gina tonight, but how did the two of you get acquainted?
Well, it's a funny story.
Funny stories are always good.
That's right. My first year I came to Wickenburg, pretty much like within the second, maybe third week I was here. I was at the local Mexican restaurant down the street here at Anita's Casino. And Cody Custer and Dixie Custer happened to be in there at the same time having supper.
Okay.
And I thought it was him, and I was like, I don't know. And he stood up, and he went to put his jacket on. I saw the buckle. I'm like, oh, this is definitely Cody Custer.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself, whatnot. And anyways, we got acquainted there. He said, here's my contact information. If you ever need something, give me a call, and send him a text. And I run into him, I think, at a team roping a couple days later, and he says, hey, why don't you come over to Christmas dinner at my house?
Oh, how
place?
nice.
And so I did, and Gina happened to be there, and that's kind of how that all started. That's where we ran into each other.
That's very, very cool. He sat right in that chair you're sitting in right now just a few days ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Now, you have a unique nickname. And I see you have that shirt on today.
Heck yeah.
I want to know who gave it to you and how did you get it?
Well, I showed up for my first time to get on Bulls, right? And this was April 1st of 2022. So this was on April Fool's Day. Everybody thought, oh, this is a big joke. Until I'm climbing down on top, one guy goes, man, this kid looks like Woody from Toy Story. And I was like, that's kind of funny, and I rolled with it, whatever. And then finally, I bought the shirt when I went into to my finals in this open rodeo in Pennsylvania. It was only a novice title I won. I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, It's something to show for it. But that when I qualified, I bought this shirt and I wore that to the finals, and everybody's laughing at me, until they found out I was leading the novice.
Oh, right on.
And then they put me on top of the buck and shoots with a big spotlight and fireworks and whatnot. So it's just kind of funny how that all played out, and just haven't looked back, and I just embraced it and thinking, you know what, I could wear this yellow and red shirt. Nobody else is going to embarrass me other than myself. So
that is very cool. You just go by Woody, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just Woody. That is very cool. Now I'm going to brag on Matt a little. He showed me some of his work, and I hope he gives me some that I can put on this video. No pressure no pressure at all. That's right. But his work is great. He's got a great eye, and it's neat to see the talent that he has. And one day he's gonna be in the big time, and I'm gonna say I remember him when. That's why I got him into the Wickenburg Roundup Studios today. As we got to work together last night and again today, and he's just very talented, and I'm honored that he decided to come in and join us. So, Matt, anything to say to encourage maybe some younger photographers photographers and videographers to getting into rodeo photography, something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I always, recommend to people is if you're really that interested in it, go get yourself a camera, get hooked up with people who've done it. And that is very tough. Sometimes, it's tough to talk to others, but, just don't be afraid to reach out to people and, reach out to your local producers, your local shows. Before I really, really did the whole rodeo thing with the video, I started out with little, pleasure classes for these horses and stuff like that. There was a small association back home that I started with that was called the Pennsylvania Horse. It was the Pennsylvania Horsemen's Association, PAHA. That's kind of like one of the places I started doing stuff like that. And, then I worked up from there. It just introduce yourself to everybody you can, and treat everybody with respect, be a decent person, and that will get you a lot further than you can ever imagine.
Yeah,
just because you give somebody advice or help somebody out doesn't mean that they'll do it the same way that you do it. Or they may say, "Oh, I don't like the way he does that or that method, I'll do something different." Just because you give advice to somebody does not mean that it's going to ruin you,
Right. Yeah, I know I had been lucky to have some good guys and gals give me advice along the way, and being that they were willing to help, I think is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very tough in this industry, it seems like, to try to find people that want to reach out to you and things like that. You just have to do your best, and like I said, treat everybody nice with respect, and it goes a long ways. There are great people out there. I've worked for a Prima Morales in Fort Worth, Texas, at the NRCHA.
Very cool.
And that person was nothing but an amazing help. So you just got to surround yourself with winners. Surround yourself with those who have the same vision, the same goals as you do, or got to find them people with the 5-year plan. I always say that. Find somebody with a 5-year plan, that has goals and aspirations that are, really good. People that have gumption.
Yeah, that's very I can't even say the word right. Admirable. Thank you. Try to say it for me because I'm messing it up. Admirable. Thank you. I get tongue-tied sometimes. But, well, Matt, we appreciate you coming in here. I hope you get to share some video with me, and I will pass it on to people that are watching the Wickenburg Roundup, and it'll be fun working together with you again tonight.
Absolutely. I can't wait, man. It's going to be a great time, sir. Thank you so much for having me on here, man.
You bet,
really
Matt.
Appreciate it.
Until next time, we'll see you soon at the Wickenburg Roundup.
Talking a little bit, ladies. I'm talking a little harder than that. Now, right now, I need all the ladies that know they look good tonight. What am I saying? We want y'all to just do this like this. Bend over to the front, touch your toes.